A good knowledge to have how to build a death machine before a death machine builds you. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of thought, strangers of conscience, tonight we gather on uneasy ground, not sacred, not profane, but somewhere between. A kind of contested zone, a wasteland of language where two great powers have collided, invention and inevitability. And the fragment I have been given tonight, this shard of perception that was found not in the pocket of a priest, nor on the tongue of a child, but deep in the digital ruins of a restless evening, this fragment reads, How to Build a Death Machine Before a Death Machine Builds You. Now, that's a peculiar thing to say, isn't it? At first glance, you may think it's dark, maybe even dangerous, the sort of thing muttered by a villain under their breath as they calibrate something glowing and terrible in a dimly lit lair. But no, if you stop there, you miss it, because this isn't a threat. This is a manual. This is good knowledge to have, and I mean that sincerely. It is good to know how to build a death machine, not so you can kill, but so that you may understand the shape of what is already being built around you, or worse, through you, or worst of all, as you. So let us begin here. The myth of neutral machinery. We are often told that machines are neutral, that they have no will of their own. They only do what we program them to do. This, my friends, is a lie whispered by those who benefit from machines continuing to operate without scrutiny. Machines are not neutral. They are embodiments of design, and every design conceals a desire. Even the wheel, innocent, ancient, has desire buried in its symmetry, the desire to move faster than feet, to carry burden, to conquer terrain. Even there, especially there, is a design that moved humanity toward empire, expansion, and war. So when we say death machine, we must understand. We do not mean a tank or a drone or a virus sealed in a vial. We mean a system built of parts, language, law, posture, story, steel, that works together to generate death. And I do not mean simply the ceasing of breath. I mean death in all its forms. The death of curiosity, the death of beauty, the death of kindness, the death of nuance, the death of play, the death of resistance, the death of a people, the death of a place, the death of time. You must see that death machines do not simply kill bodies. They kill the ability to live. And if you do not learn to build one, to map its skeleton, to name its fangs, to identify its source code, then you will become part of one without knowing it. And here is where the fragment turns. How to build a death machine before a death machine builds you. This, dear ones, is not about destruction. This is about knowledge that prevents absorption. If you don't build the machine in mind, then it will build you in body, and you will never know when the transition occurred. You will look in the mirror and see your face, but what lives behind your eyes will not be you. It will be a protocol, a subroutine, a role assigned by forces beyond your knowing. You will say things like, "That's just how things are. I'm just doing my job. You can't fight the system. I've got mouths to feed. I don't make the rules." You're overthinking it. Each one of these is a cog turning, not in your defense, but in your surrender. 2. What is a death machine really? Let us be precise. A death machine is any system whose continued operation requires that life be suppressed. It could be a weapon, yes, but it could also be a calendar, a currency, a school schedule, a social algorithm, an etiquette manual, a family rule, a job title, a voice in your head that whispers, "You better not." If its presence limits life, distorts time, erodes joy, forbids the soul's full expression, it is a death machine. And death machines are rarely ugly. Oh no, that's the genius of it. Many are beautiful, sleek, sanctioned, praised. There are death machines with clean fonts and white backdrops. There are death machines with corporate logos and 5-star reviews. There are death machines with crosses, flags, and yoga mats. There are death machines that look like friendships, others that look like savings accounts. There are even death machines that tell you they came to save you. And here is where it becomes urgent. If you can't see the machine, you are already inside of it. That's why you must learn to build one, not to use it, not to deploy it, but to understand the blueprint of its manipulation. So let us begin the lesson. Third, how to build a death machine, step by step. Step 1. Define the target. Every death machine begins with a fear, a threat, a target. You cannot kill in the abstract. You must name a danger. So the first step is to convince people that something must be stopped, silenced, erased. You say, that idea is too dangerous, or that group is holding us back, or that man must go. You carve a silhouette into the wall and tell people to aim at it. Step 2. Strip the parts from the whole. Once the target is chosen, you must decontextualize it. If it is a person, you separate him from his childhood, his grief, his mistakes. If it is a place, you forget the trees that grew there, the songs that were sung. If it is an idea, you ignore its origins and twist its meaning. This step is critical. The death machine cannot kill what is complex, only what is flattened. Step 3. Install repetition. All machines require repetition, the same movement, again and again. So you build the mechanisms, the slogan, the headline, the bedtime story, the social cue, the meme, the law. Repeat until everyone forgets that there was ever a time before it. Step 4. Distribute the labor. No one wants to feel like a murderer, so you divide the task into innocent portions. One person drafts the report, another issues the order, a third loads the truck, a fourth pushes the button, a fifth says, I didn't know. No one person owns the act. The machine owns them all. Step 5. Reward compliance. A good death machine knows how to feed its servants. It offers promotion, recognition, safety, comfort, identity, inclusion, and most of all, the feeling of being on the right side. Once this is complete, you no longer need to maintain the machine. It maintains itself. The people who were once used by it will now defend it. And that, dear ones, is how a death machine builds you. Afu. Why we must learn now. Some of you may be thinking, this is too grim. I came here for hope. But hope is not blind optimism. Hope is the discipline of refusing to bow. And that is why the fragment is a gift. How to build a death machine before a death machine builds you. It means know thy enemy, especially when it wears your own smile. It means dissect the weapons, especially when they sound like your inner voice. It means study the spells, especially when they rhyme and taste sweet. Because if you do not, then you will not know when you are wielding them. You will not know when your silence is compliance. You will not know when your job is execution. You will not know when your laughter is the signal of someone else's death. You will not know when the machine has replaced your hands with its own. And here's the strange part. There may come a time when you must build one. Yes, you heard me. Not all death machines are evil. Some are tools of last resort. Some are mercy kills to stop something worse. There may come a day when you must say, this system must die. This version of myself must end. This lie must be dismantled, and you will need to know how to do it. So yes, friend, it is good knowledge to have. Just never forget. The machine is not what you build. The machine is what builds you when you do not resist. V, what then? You may ask, what do we do instead? How do we live? And here is where I offer no machine, only a counterspell. Build gardens, not factories. Build rituals, not routines. Build questions, not commandments. Build songs, not slogans. Build relationships, not roles. Build laughter, not leverage. Build tools, not weapons. Build wisdom, not walls. And above all, build yourself, daily, humbly, not as a machine, but as a creature of soul. Machines repeat. But you, child of life, are not made to repeat. You are made to evolve, to weep, to sing, to forgive. And if you must destroy, destroy with eyes wide open and hands trembling, and a prayer on your breath. Do not let the death machine build you. 6. The final note. I will close with this. There is a man I knew. He worked for a long time in a place that made machines, not literal ones, but spiritual ones, belief systems, engines of thought, doctrines. One day he came to me and said, I think I was built by something I didn't choose. He wasn't crying, but he looked empty, as if someone had walked out of the house of his face And I said to him, then learn to build. Learn what built you, so you can unbuild it. He did, and he's out there now, somewhere, tearing out gears, planting seeds, writing fragments. Maybe he wrote the one we read tonight, and maybe you did. So I ask you, before you go, what have you built, and what has built you, and are the two the same? Good knowledge to have. That's all for tonight. Be careful, be human, build wisely.